We're now in the town of Pushkin, about 100,000. This is where our first visit is today. This is Lyceum, which was the school, and this is where Pushkin was educated. And as a consequence of his life, this town became known as Pushkin. We're outside of Catherine's palace. Restrooms are to the right. Important to know the essential information first.
Could be seen from that place. It is the illusion, it's the optical effect. When we go back to that gallery, you may turn around. That was used by 3 Russian tsarinas, by Elizabeth, that said that her name starts with letter E, and by both Catherines. As the Russian name Catherine starts with letter E, the spelling starts with letter E. That's why even monogramma return back to the main staircase. It's like slaves, something like that. There were villages where they lived quite close, but nowadays certainly they do not exist. And the main entrance, they're polishing their doors. Same pattern as it was before the war. So some of the little pieces of the silk were taken away from each hole, such was the example how to reconstruct the silk. And on the opposite side, the most interesting items are objects. These are vases, so-called fragments vases. They were not consumed with the water. They were glass his arena, and here we didn't know that time the color of glass. Here he used red foil with the help of transparent glass that gives the impression of a red. Ivory is colored mahogany, that has the red color. Furniture, that items are original. And also this stove here. In the ground floor, that's the main part, like the basement of the stove. And that palace is the summer palace. They used to live here just a season, from May till August till September. That's why these stoves certainly not enough to heat your wheat. Actually like gold, and when you see gilded rooms, a lot of gilded moldings, that refers to her year. So nowadays we have good relations with Germany, and our president Putin, he speaks perfect German language, so he is holding him after 10 years of unhappy marriage, as it is like we have a record about this. She announced coup d'etat actually good Russian throne. And nowadays we have good relations with that country, and they helped us to reconcile with politics, and never cared a lot about her son. But when she got first grandchildren, she decided to be so nice. So she was already a mature lady that didn't care. She cared less already about her image. She could devote some time to the grandchildren. And Alexander was raised. So that's the great dining room. It didn't exist. Here was the hanging garden, and Alice asked the Scottish architect Charles Cameron to redesign the style returned to the society already known as neoclassical. That's why he works in their plain colors, so nice pastel colors as green, plain pink. So Catherine the Great she hated gold palaces. Every architect would like to redesign some of the rooms according to their personal tastes. And in the time of early 19th century, artificial marble was in fashion. Previously, Tsars worked with the natural stone of
It's rolling, and it also looks like it's pivots in the center. Peculiarly small for some reason. Must have been for the young king. The Tsar's entry into somewhere. Moscow. These fellows did love themselves.
Children, 4 daughters and 1 son. One son, Alexei, you can see his portrait over here. He had a terrible disease. Those years that it was very hard to deal with it. That was hemophilia. That made a call for them, and he was the only person who could help the Alexei to be out and well. Otherwise, he could die at any moment. We'll speak about Tsars more. Tell you about the family, more about how they murdered, how they were murdered, and when, and so on. That will be the Alexander Palace. Here we may see the three of the family, Romanovs. So the early centuries here, so are numerous Tsars, and then already the 19th century and the 20th, so many grand dukes and duchesses here. And it's
They get all the they got them locally that restore all this stuff. It takes pretty damn good craftsmen.
Yeah, yeah.
But also you got to remember the older days over here.
It's a pretty Dresden blue color.
Oh, when it's on its own.
That's the main facade to the palace. Over there we can see the domes of the chapel that's still closed. So from this place we can clearly see that. And also she asked the same Scottish architect to add another building that's to your left and right side over there. It's called the Cameron Gallery. As the weather is very changeable here, and Tsarinas, they would like to have a walk from both there. There are a few pounds. out here. They used to swim in the ponds in the lake that's nearby here. So that time it was done like this. And at the end of the alley, there is a pavilion called the Sanitarium. On the surprise, there's another Sanitarium at that museum. The matter is that word hermit was very popular at the time, especially solitude, where they could. Here is flower of St. Petersburg is lilac, so now they're still on, but we're behind I think 3 weeks this season, so it was very cold in May.
This was a palace, it was really chewed up.
So here was the wedding party of Alexander with his wife Elizabeth. There was a design in classical style by the architect.
This was built by Catherine the Great for her favorite grandson.
So it was the time already of neoclassical style, so the gold already was in the past. And also that realized a lot the Catholic culture of the in the 19th century. It was too dry. Catherine didn't care a lot about Paul, but her grandson was raised by her. She was more taken even as mother than grandmother. Then when Alexander, that's which Alexander I, was married, she presented a palace to him. So that's Catherine's. The last version of Alexander was in late 19th century, early 20th, when he lived the family of Nicholas II. With icons, numerous images of the sons of saints. She was a very religious person, and previously she was Catholic, but she adopted the Orthodox religion when she got married with Nicholas II. She also changed the name when they adopted Christianity. In the showcase, like in that, you will see the icon. There's a blessed icon, so it was a present to Alexander when her only son was born, Alexei. And when Alexei had problems with his health, Alexander used to pray in front of that icon. It's very symbolic. Some of the icons are original here, but many of them were brought and here we can see other items of the master who worked in Art Nouveau style. These are vases, the glass of famous company Galère. So they work in that style. The photograph represents the atmosphere of that years. Actually, photography was very popular in the early 20th century. And along the walls in Paul Palace, you'll see the original photograph. So the atmosphere in this palace is reconstructed according to the movie of Russian director Sakurov, who made the movie dedicated to last Romanov, to last Russian Tsars. He used a lot of information. Second, he worked already in Art Nouveau style that was in fashion those years. Actually, this style could not be seen much in Russia, as the revolution came too soon and just few palaces could represent the furniture. Like normal children, as they were trying to prevent last bleeding that could bring to death. That's why Alexei was brought to. Well, that's one of the biggest halls that survived and lived a very closed life, mostly because of Alexei. As he had such a disease, family, both sisters, devoted all the time to Alexei, and parents, they cared a lot about the son. It was kept in a secret that Alexei had that disease. The matter is that the position of Nicholas II was quite weak in the society. It could be very bad for the family, as they expected already some revolution movements, so probably another family or even his brother would capture the throne. That certainly they didn't want to share the throne. The tapestry carpet, Marie Antoinette with her children, and the portrait of Alexandra. She was considered to be one of the most beautiful ladies in the early 20th century. Even that late 19th century, the 20th century, it was very common to live in separate parts of the palace. Usually the female room, the female part were the bedroom, the toilet room, so they used to stay here.
Well, that's a good thing. Now, what the heck is that little symbol for? Some little symbol inside the camera.
They're all sitting at the table.
Попросите, пожалуйста, сумки в руки взять, а то вас проводят туристы на Печерску
And his mother, and he wanted to be Russian Tsar. So in the palace, I will tell you about the life of Paul, the son of Catherine the Great, and also his wife and their 10 children. That's a Jew. The view to the park, the main alley here from the central part of the palace. To the study of Paul. The palace is also divided into female and male parts. So that's the study of Paul, the owner of that palace. The study is divided into two parts by a very symbolical arch. So that part and then second part. The portrait of Peter the Great. That's the original portrait of Peter from the owners. They could speak foreign languages as first.
These are original carpets, not tapestries, although they're used that way now.
Italian, French, these are the main languages that compared even with the Alexander Palace, this place. The matter is that they used to live here for a very long time. They made the atmosphere of the house where the children. He was waiting for the throne about 18 years. So very long time, Catherine never allowed him to be close to the throne, and that never been great for her, and certainly she didn't want to lose the status in the country. A very interesting painting of the city. It's again by Pushkin, Russian designer and architect. Paul unfortunately died not by his natural death. He was betrayed by his friends and he was strangled in his hand to be a soldier. Can you imagine that people who were and the design, the moldings, they differ a lot. Here are flowers, here are musical instruments, baskets with fruits. Also like to read. Her children, they like to work in the garden for themselves, not for doing something, but to was fond of flowers a lot. And at the moment she commissioned many flowers for that place that we didn't know before. So that time rare tulips appeared here, many other flowers that she liked. There were books with her personal drawings of that flowers, as she could work with ivory. She was also doing ivory things. And she they were nearly the same age. It was just a few years before French Revolution happened. So like it was in early 1790s. The revolution happened in 1906 and it was just a few years before. They were friends, same age, that's why they had same interests. Many presents that about flowers, about gardening. Her original chair where she used to sit, that her study, and none of them had any diseases like hemophilia and none of them died in infants. So very good family, they cared a lot. Award by owners for their
начали вот такой вопрос, слушала, жили в твоей специальности, ты уже понимаешь, что я скоро как трон, что мать еще раз
people in one place, so they were done as private homes. So that's why sometimes original one to the right preserves the condition of post-war days. And the pillars of left and right, they are designed again and named after the war days. There were some other private rooms where they used to live, but not all of them survived through all these years. There are paintings on the walls, the gorgeous ceiling showing, having the same design that textile, the canopy, has above the bed to the owners, to Paul and Maria. So this is the toilet set, and on the cups in the middle, there are the military orientation. And there is the first one kind of a leisure life. Were preserved here, and they were never found quite small, and will return back.
What was the purpose of this room?
Gosh, they do. Oh my
Incredible.
They are proposing second lunch for us.
Pen down, so luckily I had the pen to use down there, because it's only 12.